Hello, Dr. Cynthia. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing quite fine, and thank you so very much for being here. You see, I truly appreciate you. And you see, Doctor, oftentimes I love to thank my guest for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, I want to say thank you so very much, Doctor, for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invest in yourself. And oftentimes, Dr. Cynthia, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some couple of months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, Dr. Cynthia, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree it's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. Yeah. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Dr. Cynthia, just recently I was on that same road, and this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. You see, the mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches. I tell you, it was such a very exciting moment, Daddy. I was so happy and excited, I tell you. Here is my point, Dr. Cynthia. You see, the fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Dr. Cynthia that you are today, that alone has made it impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing. Your philosophies, your insight, the impact your work is having, and how you are offering your solutions. These stuffs are beautiful. And just before I sent you that request, Dr. Cynthia, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Dr. Cynthia is doing, and not only me now because I don't want to be selfish, and even with the audience. And here we are today with the amazing Dr. Cynthia. So thank you so very much for doing that to yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite, because if
Well,
you had
thank
said
you.
nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thanks so much. Awesome. So let's get started. You see, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Dr. Cynthia, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And you see, Doctor, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking. Why? Because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to
Mm,
make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason
mhm.
why I'm excited to have the incredible Dr. Cynthia on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, Doctor, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, Dr. Cynthia, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Dr. Cynthia got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Dr.
Okay.
Cynthia, over to you.
Okay. Well, thank you for that beautiful, warm introduction. And I agree, knowledge is definitely light. So I spent about 30 years in the corporate world in the United States, in a lot of different industries. I was in hospitality, I was in food service, I was in healthcare, real estate, all predominantly in human resources. So, working with people, helping people to find employment and flourish in their jobs. And about 2 years ago, I left corporate America and I started my own business after the release of my first book, Now Near Next. And really, at this point in my life, it's about giving back. I focus a big part of my time and energy on helping women in particular who are seeking, who are ambitious and are seeking joy filled careers and helping them find their route to their success. And then I work with a lot of leaders and organizations to help them think about and bring talent into their workforce so that the individuals thrive and the organization thrives. So I do that through coaching. I am an executive coach. I do that through authoring books, and then I do that through keynote speaking.
Amazing. And that's a powerful one you're doing because of the impact it is producing. And I love it. So let's begin first with your book. All right. What
Mhm.
inspired you to write that wonderful book? And how did you come about the title?
Yeah. So the first book, Now Near Next, I was at a point where I was feeling very restless in my career. And I always knew I wanted to write a book to help women in particular. That, they say you're best poised to serve the person you once were. And I raised children as a career mom. I went through a divorce. I went through breast cancer. I, had many things that were challenges along the way. And so, as part of that, I began to do research. My thought partner, Kimberly Rath, and I conducted research. We studied women around the world, 5 countries, 4 race ethnicities, 25 years age span. And we found that women often feel restless or stuck or stagnant sometime in their career journey. And what we realized is it was because we lack intentionality. Women are often not very intentional about their career path. Men being very much the hunters and the providers, they're really raised to recognize the importance of their career path. And women are taught to work hard, put their head down, and then somebody will tap them when it's time. And so the title is really Now Near Next, came from the methodology that we created. And that is start today working on your future. So do your day job with excellence, but now, not tomorrow, not down the road, but today, right now, start working on your future. Name your next. What is your next? Is it a promotion? Is it more money? Is it starting your own business? Is it graduating from school? Define your next and start working on it now. And so the framework became the name of the book.
Wow, that's amazing. And the fact that during your research you worked with real-time data, that's really essential. And thank you for doing that. So I'm still curious, okay? So what is the first chapter about? Can you talk to us about that?
Mm, yeah. So one of the things that we realized immediately is that women liked the message of start working on your future today. But what is the first thing that they say is the reason why they don't invest in themselves? Time. Because there's a lot of guilt around women in business, especially if they're also trying to raise children. They feel a lot of guilt of, I feel like when I'm at work, I should be home with my children. When I'm home with my children, I should be at work. And not everybody has children, but women pour in someplace, whether it's their church or their community or their neighborhood. We find places to pour our energy and effort. And so, chapter 1 is all about embracing grace. It's all about boundaries and how do you find time to invest in yourself unapologetically, guilt free. That it's okay and important to invest in yourself without feeling regret or feeling as though you don't deserve it.
Beautiful. And that's a great way to kickstart the wonderful book. Okay, so while you were talking earlier, you mentioned something about helping organizations, search for talents. So, what's the difference between managing and mobilizing talent?
That's a big question. That's a great question. So my
Thank you.
yeah, so my second book, which is coming out February 3rd, it's available now on Amazon, is Human Capital Investment Strategy. And in that book, it really defines that managing is the day to day. It's keeping the trains running on time. It's approving people's time off. It's improving their expense reports. It's, helping make sure they understand expectations. Mobilizing talent is really about seeing in another person their superpowers. It's about seeing in another person that which is hardwired, that they do naturally. It's looking at their potential and saying, I can teach the skill and knowledge, but I can develop that natural talent, that raw potential into something extraordinary. And so when you're mobilizing talent, it's really about saying, how far can this person ultimately go when I discover their innate, hardwired superpowers?
I got that. And that's a great one. So what about this one? How can leaders see people as an investment and not
Mm,
just headcount?
yeah. How do they see them as investment, not just headcount? So that's really the burning question of human capital investment strategy. Is I think that most leaders and most CEOs really do believe and want to believe that their people are their greatest asset. However, when financials are struggling, when the economy is struggling, oftentimes when it comes down to it, people are treated as a labor burden, not an asset to invest in. And so, what I really teach is this notion that when you find the people that are so well poised to do a specific job, that it's part of who they are and how they show up, they are going to be a force multiplier. They are going to deliver multiple times more than somebody who is having to work really hard to do that thing because it doesn't really come naturally. And so you invest by attracting from a bigger pool, right? You don't restrict it with arbitrary criteria. We're too often focused on industrial revolution era filters. How many years of experience does a person have? What big top brands have they worked for? What school did they graduate from? Those things are informative, they're not predictive of success. So, what I suggest from a data and evidence perspective is teach what you can teach, but hire, select, and promote based on raw potential. That's where you're going to have the greatest gain.
Wow, this is amazing. And you see, it is as though I'm in a very important class. You see, thank you so very much. Now I see why you're so good at what you do. Okay, so let's concentrate on women. All right. So why do
Mm,
women often wait until they feel ready?
yeah. It has a lot to do with our conditioning. If we think about, and this again was a universal, a global discovery, is that very often, for the most part, women are conditioned to put your head down, work hard, and wait to get tapped. We even see that in school. If you think about little children in school, generally speaking, the girls are sitting still, they raise their hand, they're waiting to get called upon, they're getting their gold stars. Little boys oftentimes are restless and energetic and wiggly and all the things. When we grow up into young adults and we enter a corporate environment, women are still dutifully putting their head down, working hard, waiting to get tapped. Young men have channeled that energy into they look up, they look forward, they're, asking for what's next. And so it's a shift in terms of how women need to think. I always say we need to take a page out of the men's playbook. We need to think about how do we put our aspirations into the universe and that's okay. People aren't mind readers. If you don't know I'm interested in growing, and developing and having a future role, then how, if you don't know that, if I haven't expressed that to you, I can't expect you to just be a mind reader and know that, right? So I really work with women on agency or using their voice. Know what your next aspirational goal is, and then talk to people that you bring into confidence to say, I really want to be this when in a few years. And how do I get there? And seek feedback and wisdom from other people.
Beautiful, we got that. So we have two more to go, Dr. Cynthia. So how do we balance empathy with execution?
Empathy and execution. That is a powerful question. This is opinion based at this point. I don't have research to cite, but what I would say from my own leadership experience is collaboration matters. And when you are listening to the voice of those impacted, that's where empathy comes in. So if I'm making decisions about patients in a healthcare environment, or if I'm making decisions about guests that are coming into my hospitality environment, I really need to understand the voice of the person I'm serving. And as a leader, I really need to understand the voice of the people I'm serving from a leadership perspective. When you meet people where they are, when you really understand their value proposition, what's on their hearts and minds, then I think execution takes into consideration the human factor. And it can sound like it slows you down, but I think long term, it's the more sustainable,
Hmm,
because otherwise you get a lot of backlash, right? If I'm just executing without thinking about how it's going to impact people, chances are I'm going to have to revisit that decision more than
true.
once.
I got that. Beautiful. And that was a great response. Thank you for explaining it that way. You made it quite easy to understand. So, what does move the line mean to you?
Yeah. I think so often we end up with false narratives. And I think this is true of men and women. That we tell ourselves things and we live a life that's based on other people's perceptions, other narratives we hear growing up, whether it's, because you're a girl, you can't do that, or you're not smart enough, or you're not small enough, or you're too young, or you're too old. We have these narratives that we tell ourselves, and that they really can be a barrier to our aspirational goals. When I left corporate America at 56 years old, there was a part of me that thought, am I too old to be starting this new path, this new journey? Right. And that could have been something that really stopped me from the work that I've been doing for the last couple of years. But instead, I had to move the line. I had to change that narrative to, I have a lot more runway. I want to be doing this another 10, 15 plus years. And so I'm not going to let that define me. That's what move the line means. Identify that arbitrary barrier that you're telling yourself and get rid of it altogether or move it down the road. Give yourself some space.
Give yourself some space. Wow. Now I've just learned something new. And by the way, you've got a great genes. You see, you look so young.
Thank you.
Amazing. Wow.
My
Beautiful.
my grandmother just turned 102.
Whoa.
Yes, last week.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Amazing. That's a great one. Well, thank you so very much, Dr. Cynthia. So to bring this to an end, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who like to
Yeah.
reach out to you, learn more about the beautiful stuff you're doing, or even make a purchase of your books, how can that be possible?
Yes. So you can reach me at cynthiabensonmercer.com. So it's just my name, as will be written in the show notes, cynthiabensonmercer.com. You can also reach me directly at hello@cynthiabensonmercer.com. And my books are available on the website and also through Amazon. But here's what I'd like to leave you with, most importantly. And I think this applies to every single person regardless of age, regardless of current circumstances. Start working on your future today. Pick your next, understand what that aspirational goal is. Is it to enroll in a course? Is it to finish school? Is it to land a new job? Is it to make more money or get promoted? You choose. You get to choose what your next is. But start taking baby steps today, little incremental steps to work on your future today.
Profound and powerful words. Thank you so very much, Dr. Cynthia. So that's going to be the end of the show. Thank you for coming and thank you for
Thank you.
sharing this beautiful stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you.
Thank you.